Well, hello, hello. We are back.
Yes.
Glad to be here one more time for the Roadmap to Marriage podcast, where we are giving you the tools to attract, date, marry, and most importantly, keep a godly man.
I think keeps important.
I,
Yep.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Paula C. Perez, educator, author, speaker, relationship coach, wife, bunch of things.
And I am Pastor John Perez, 1 week away from saying I am educated with a degree, uh, graduating next week, real happy. And so, pastor, mentor, coach, husband, grandfather, father, uh, most importantly, servant leader. I think sometimes
Amen.
we lose sight of that, but that's what we are.
Amen. So today's episode, we're talking about do opposites attract?
They
And
do.
this came up because one of my coaching clients asked me that question in our coaching session. And it was really at the end of the session. So we pushed it off. But I thought, why not talk about it on tonight's episode?
Yeah.
So, do
Do,
opposites attract?
do, I think we're living testimony proof that opposites do attract. And I think, have you ever been attracted to someone who was completely opposite from you and wondered if that meant that was your person? That was, and I'm like,
Yeah,
interesting.
for sure. Obviously, John and I are different in a whole lot of ways, but are we really opposite?
We're going to define opposite because now she threw me for a curveball. But no, I think in opposites, we are. I think that besides the obvious male female, besides the obvious in melanin, those are
So,
some.
give me an example. How are we opposite?
I've always said that when people ask me about Paula and myself, and I've always said she's book smart, I'm street smart. I think that's always been kind of the thing, but now I got to take that away because now I am book smart.
Amen.
I can qualify for that, but I think that we bring just different things, the way we look at things, the way we think about things,
Mhm.
even like, for example, how we think about how to do math, and for me, I get to a number different than hers, but it doesn't mean that I did it wrong. It's just that we
It's
have a
different.
different way of doing it. And
Amen.
I think difference is what makes, is the variety of life. It's that spice that you need sometimes. But having somebody, think about it. If somebody was the same as you, that'd be pretty boring.
Hmm.
But opposites do attract. And the other thing that we got to look at, it's the completion, right? It's it's the yin and the yang. It's bringing together what you don't have and I have, and now bringing it together to form one union. And that's what we're looking at.
But is it really opposite? And the question
Yes.
is that biblical? Is it even wise? Or is that just chemistry? So we're going to delve
Yeah,
into
let's delve into it because
why.
you hit some biblical,
Mhm.
yeah, wise. I think there's a
So,
lot of wisdom in trying to look. I think if you were to put two people together that were the same in everything that they do and everything that they are, there's no completion.
mhm.
You're still missing something. That's
Okay.
me.
So sometimes being opposite can feel attractive. And I think there's a lot of reasons. We are often drawn to what we admire. If somebody can do something better than you, we tend to gravitate towards that. So,
Oh,
for instance,
okay.
an introvert, extrovert.
But I wasn't always an extrovert. I
Okay.
became an extrovert. I was introverted, and then now you can't stop me from being an extrovert.
Hmm.
And I think I think the other one is planners attracted by spontaneous. I think that's obvious. Emotional purpose are attracted to those logical thinkers. I think that is obvious. And I mean, I think you wrote our qualifications here. This is pretty cool. Visionaries are attracted to stabilizers. I think when I look at all of these, I see our relationship. It's very.
So the question is it really is attraction inspiration, or is it that we are compensating for what we feel we don't have.
No,
So are we attracted because we admire qualities that we don't have yet?
I think you always are. I think you're always looking at, you do admire people for what they have and what you don't have. I think there's always that discussion that is happening there. But is attraction inspiration, or is it compensation? Look, there are things that certainly that you do better that I don't.
Yeah.
There are tracks that you think that I don't. You have a way of getting to the problem that I don't. So I think that, yeah, I mean, wherever I tend to be weak, you're strong, or vice versa. So there is the complement. There is the completion. There is the opposite. So I think that maybe opposite is not the word. Maybe is that where you're,
I think we just need to think about it from different vantage points, because I think a lot of times women in particular, because we tend to be more emotionally driven.
I've seen
sometimes we can see excitement, you're excited about this relationship, but you view that as compatibility, or the guy seems really mysterious. And you can think that, yeah, that's a sign of maturity, which, or maybe you feel some chemistry and you confuse that with their character. And we can get into a whole lot of issues. So the question becomes, am I attracted to this person because they're healthy, or is it because they feel familiar?
Well, let's look at the feel familiar, because I'll use a person that I know relatively well. And I think he's attracted to the familiar.
Okay.
And I think I've seen this in more than one occasion.
That dynamic play out.
Absolutely. He is attracted to the familiar.
Yep.
It has not happened once. It has not happened twice. I would say in the last, let's say safely, 10 years, I have seen this individual 3 times, 4 times, more than I care to count, attracted to the familiar.
Right.
And I think that is, he has not broken that chain.
And a lot of times I think that happens to us when we are not dating from a place of being whole, of being healed. And we tend to, and I think part of it is also God's doing, trying to wake us up and to use those individuals to help us snap out of it and to grow. I know that there are times when differences can actually strengthen a marriage.
No, and differences do. I think differences should strengthen a marriage. I mean, and if they don't, then that's another conversation.
Exactly.
But for example, going back to this individual we both know, I would say watching this person for the last 10 years, I have seen him fall into the same holes and then come to the realization after the ether wears off that he's in the same. It's basically Groundhog Day all over again for him.
Right.
And it's going to that experiential kind of emotional feeling and then saying, oh my God, I just fell on the same landmine that I've fell on before. And until he comes to a realization that that's bad for me mentally, physically, and emotionally, he'll never realign himself with someone that is truly there to lift him up, not take him down.
So differences obviously then can create growth.
Oh, absolutely.
But
this is
if we are misaligned,
this creates the struggle.
That's it.
And
that's
when you create the struggle, then resentment comes in, then unhappiness comes in, then anger comes in, and then that misalignment turns into a whole bunch of other stuff that you are now going to have to deal with.
Very true. Very true. But I think as we're talking to people that we coach, I think it's important that we help them to focus on what actually matters more than opposites.
Right. And I think the alignment, look, we will always say that the first alignment is shared faith.
Exactly.
I think that's always going to be, we hear it quoted so many times. Amos 3:3. Can two walk together unless they are agreed?
Exactly.
They cannot.
Yeah.
That's look, it's not in any relationship you want to use, whether it be business, whether it be emotional, whatever it is, marriage, unless you are walking agreed in this particular area, you will have a difficult
Exactly.
time.
So the questions you need to be asking are, first of all, is that person pursuing Christ? Are you pursuing Christ together? Do you agree on core convictions? And if you are misaligned, run. It's not worth it.
No, and yeah, and please don't make the mistake. Oh, they'll be saved someday.
Exactly.
I'll help them get saved one day. You know what's going to happen? They're going to be stronger than you in the area that you think that you're the strongest, and then you're going to fall. Because I've seen it happen too many times. But shared vision. And I think this is where you really got to chart this, and you really got to have the right questions to ask.
Before
yes.
You say I do.
Before you say I do, because once you did, it's over. I think, what's your expectation as far as what a marriage is?
Yes.
What does it come around? What do you think about children, family?
How many?
How many? Are you older and you saying, yeah, I'm out of that phase and I'm good? Or, hey, I still want, and maybe I'm looking at adoption. All of these things come into play.
How do you feel about ministry? Maybe you never desired to be in a ministry role with your husband, but did you talk about that before?
And are you happy just being the lay leaders that you are or would like to be? You don't have any aspirations of any higher office than just being a servant leader. And that is perfectly fine.
It is.
And people have done extremely well in assuming the office of servant leader.
Exactly. And do you share your vision when it comes to the type of lifestyle that you want to live out?
Correct. Ours is that we are aspiring, and we are tired of coach. And
that's for sure.
And we'd like to move on up to business class, and then move from there. Sky's the limit. But hey, that's our lifestyle. It has certainly changed. For me, I was happy just being anywhere on the plane. Now I want to get to the front of the bus.
Exactly. And not only that, I think we also have to have some values that we share. Do you both value integrity? Are you both generous? That can be a major problem if one person's a giver and the other person isn't.
I think this is when you've got to talk about sexual boundaries.
Exactly.
I'd rather you address it now before the lights go off or on, or the clothes go off or on, however you're going to deem that day, that evening, that morning. However, what are the boundaries? What is acceptable? What is not acceptable? Yes. And I think so often is that, look, we have seen movies, we have read books, and now you're there and no one's ever addressed it.
Yeah.
And I think, look, there's some stuff that is really could be out of balance because of previous things.
Exactly.
Look,
yes.
We're all adults here. Oral sex is off the table or stuff like that. And I think those are the things. Look, if you can hear it on the news, but you can't talk to your prospective spouse, then I think you need to get over the giddiness and really get down to issues.
Yeah. And those are just a few examples.
Correct.
How do you feel about stewardship? What do you feel about service?
Correct.
Are you service oriented? You like to go and volunteer. You like to do
or you
those
don't want any
of
part
things,
of doing
right?
anything.
Exactly. And another area, do you share values in terms of your emotional health? Have you learned how to resolve conflict? Do you have conflict resolution skills?
Right. And then you've got to look at accountability.
Yep.
Here's another one that's big: self-awareness.
And you all know, for anybody that's been following us, that's the first step in our 4-step framework. Correct. Self-love and self-awareness. Do you really know who you are? And you can stand on that. So many women in particular lose themselves when they get into a relationship.
And I think this is because you've talked about it, but I think the self-awareness to say no.
Yes, exactly.
The self-awareness to say no and to stand on no.
Yep.
And be able to validate no.
Exactly.
And not move off of no. And there's nothing wrong with no, but just don't say no. I think you got to be saying the no and the why,
right?
Because it's important for your whomever it is that you're in conversation with to understand why you're saying no, so that you both understand that this is why I'm so strongly about no.
Exactly. And I think it's just important that we hold on to the fact that we obviously don't need someone that's exactly like us.
I know.
But we do need someone that is committed to growing with us.
Yeah, and if you find that he wants, listen, let me put it this way. If you find that someone wants to keep you at home barefoot and pregnant, I think that went out with the Stone Age and the dinosaurs.
They're trying to bring it back.
But if they're trying, well, I shouldn't say that. There are people that are trying to bring that back. But if you're self-aware and very in tune about who you are and what you are, that's a no. And that's something that you're adamant about and say, look, thank you very much, but there's the door.
Exactly. And I think also that many times people are calling red flags things that they should be closing the door to. They're seeing it as, oh, opposites attract.
No, that's a bomb.
It is not attraction when one of you communicates and the other one just disappears.
No, and it's not when one serves God and the other one
just
tolerates fate.
Exactly.
Or one wants marriage and the other one avoids commitment.
Correct. Yeah. Or one is emotionally available when the other person just shuts down. That is not opposites attract.
Look,
those are incompatibilities.
If you've got to take a crowbar, if you got to use a crowbar to open somebody up, and you think, well, the Lord just gave me this as this is no, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not. That's not what God intended you to do, for you to pour out and not be poured back into. That's wrong.
So listen, we want to give you some practical things that you can do with the person that you are dating and that you are thinking about. Rate yourself from 1 to 10 on these areas. So for instance, in terms of chemistry, do you really like being around them? On a scale of 1 to 10.
If it's a 5. Character, can I trust them? If it's a 6, or if it's a 9, wonderful. Compatibility, do you see building something together?
Exactly.
If you can rate that well, fine. And again, if they're all coming up with 5s and 6s, then maybe
you need to rethink.
You need to recalibrate.
And because when you are dating, it's as good as it gets. They're putting their best foot forward. Once you say, I do, the true personality comes up. You let your guard down. You start being your true self, your authentic self. And if you can't tolerate it before, believe me, after, it's really going to get under your skin.
It'll be more than getting under your skin.
So the question is, do you have similar callings? Are you moving in the same direction? We talked about the Amos verse that talks, how can you walk together unless you agree? So differences in a spouse definitely can be beautiful, but you need to contemplate, you need to think, you need to figure out what differences are going to become barriers.
So we know that the top one is always going to be from a spiritual standpoint.
Okay.
That's an immediate barrier. What other barriers, as you talked in coaching, what other barriers have you talked about?
Family situations can be an issue.
Like?
He doesn't get along with his mother.
I'm laughing.
That can create problems in your relationship.
Or he's a mama's boy.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I didn't want to bring up there, but you understand. So there's varying degrees, right?
Correct.
Either I don't get along with mommy, or I really am a mommy's boy. And what was that movie that was done? Wasn't it
Failure to Launch? Is that the one?
It was with the couples Kevin Hart was in. I think where the one brother was a real mama's boy. Oh, anyway,
I don't know.
I'll think of it now.
Anyway,
Meanwhile, back it was Steve Harvey's book that they did the movie on. Anyway,
he's not that into you.
I don't remember. If somebody knows,
that's Steve Harvey's book. He's not that into you.
It was whatever. I think I know they made. But anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, let's go.
Just want you all, as you are contemplating and thinking about your relationships, do opposites attract? Not really. You have some differences, but the core areas, the major areas, you really need to be in alignment. And you don't want somebody that mirrors you, because you don't need two of you.
No, you really need someone who honors God and has really made a conscious decision to be growing with you. That's partnership. That's alignment.
Exactly.
That's now stewardship.
Exactly.
And now when that comes together, you have you have that missing component.
Exactly. So we want to invite you, first of all, to subscribe.
Yes.
Hit that bell, follow us.
Ring the bell.
But I also want you to take some time to look at your life, and women in particular. If you're single, we've created a quiz for you that's on our website, roadmaptomarriage.com/HB quiz. It means husband blocker, HB quiz. So roadmaptomarriage.com/HB quiz. Take that quiz. It's really quick, takes you about 2 minutes, but see what might be blocking you. And then I invite you to schedule a discovery call. It's free. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And come and see what it is that is holding you back. And we'll map out a mini plan. And if it's a good fit, we'll work together.
Yeah.
So definitely come visit us. Make sure you subscribe, follow along. Instagram, we're at Roadmap to Marriage as well. So please connect with us. We'd love to see you. We love to work with you. Singles or couples, either one. We'd love for you to join us.
Yeah.
So we'll be gone next week because actually, no, we will have an episode. We'll air another episode. But as he said, we have graduation ceremony next week. So we're so happy to do that. But we will see you real soon. And connect with us. Take care.